Good morning and welcome back to Concerned Citizens Media. Uh, I have some news and some comments about some of the news. Qeeroos in Awaday, Eastern Hararghe Zone in Oromia, Ethiopia broke their silence by showing up in massive protest against Abiy Ahmed today. They did this despite heavy military, federal, and Oromia Special Forces presence in the town of Awaday and in the surrounding areas. They expressed their frustration with their living situation in Awaday Town and with overall living condition in Oromia region. They denounced the massive arrests of Qeeroos and Qarrees, the killing of Qarrees and Qeeroos, and the subjecting of Oromos into various brutalities by Ethiopian military, federal police, and by Oromia Special Forces. The Awaday heroes said it clearly that they do not want to live their lives while Qeeroos and Qarrees are dying, get imprisoned, and while their prominent political prisoners such as Johar Mohammed, Baqqala Garba, Abdi Raggasa, Abdi Benya, and others are held in jail. The Awaday's defense to heavily intimidating security forces in the town and protesting against Abiy Ahmed is an extraordinary act of courage. It should be encouraged and duplicated in other areas of Oromia to speed up the removal of the dictatorship government from Oromia, Ethiopia. That's one of the best ways to end the sufferings of Oromos in Oromia region. We know that Oromia is under heavy command posts because the Oromos totally rejected the new Prosperity Party's plan for Oromia and for Oromos. The continuation of domestic and global Oromos movement are the only way out from this military repression in Oromia region. Oromo Christians, Muslims, and Waqefetas gathered yesterday in front of Minnesota's Capitol building and prayed for more than 9,000 Oromos suffering in Ethiopian prisons. They also held candle-lighting memorial service for Hachalu Hundessa and for all Oromos suffering under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed administration. They asked with their broken heart for the divine intervention to end the sufferings of Oromos under command posts in Oromia region. Such joint religious denominations prayers have been ongoing in Minnesota and other states since Abiy Ahmed turned his back against the Oromos who brought him to power. They promised to continue their joint prayers until all Oromos are released from prison, command posts are removed, and total freedom is achieved in Oromia region. Concerned citizens media never seen such coordinated religious prayers, oppositions, and protests against the Ethiopian authorities. We know that Abiy Ahmed is determined to use his shoot to kill policy to crush Oromo oppositions. That is not a way out from the woods and save Ethiopia from disintegration. The Ethiopian diaspora community living in London showed up to demonstrate against Qeeroos and Qarrees today. The protesters were decorated with green, yellow, and red colored flags, umbrellas, hats, face coverings, t-shirts, and other clothing. They were holding Abiy Ahmed's photographs and chanting anti-Qeeroos and anti-Qarrees expressions. They were chanting slogans such as "One Nation, One Ethiopia," "We Ethiopians do not negotiate with our country and flag," and "We cannot be silent about our country." These are some of the slogans held by the Ethiopian diaspora in London. Here is a comment from Concerned Citizens Media about this demonstration. The flags they were holding at the rally is not recognized by Abiy Ahmed or by Ethiopian embassy in London or elsewhere. So I don't know, maybe they didn't pay attention. I know they try to show up support for their solidarity with what Abiy is doing back home. The arresting of all these political, politicians, Oromo politicians, the cracking down, the killing of, young kids, pregnant mothers, all this, they know what's going on, but they are showing up in solidarity, to tell him, hey, go ahead, what you're doing is right. But they should have carried out the flag, which is hung in that embassy, not the one they have. The one they have is not an official flag of Ethiopia or Ethiopian embassy. So maybe they didn't pay attention or they did it on purpose. Their flag is not an official flag at this time, and they must negotiate with all Ethiopians about it in the future. Yes, they hold it, and it is future depend on all Ethiopians. If we want to take it green, yellow, red, or we want to add something else, or something different. So it is negotiable. They say they cannot negotiate about their flags and about the country. I don't know how many people will accept the flag they are holding. At least I know 60 or 50 million Oromos, they don't accept that flag. So they have to find a way, to negotiate about that flag, So they say we cannot negotiate or not negotiable. I don't know which flag they are talking about. Is it the flag at the hanging on the embassy or the flag they are holding in their rallies? So they missed the opportunity to show up with Ethiopian flags. for the embassy's flag to show their solidarity with Abiy. They must have legally, internationally recognized flag at this time. So, divisive politics is not good for Ethiopia's future. Calling names and ignoring the concerns of others will not help us to form one nation on one country. So we must work on the things that can help us to live together in Ethiopia in the future. So throwing stones against each other will only benefit the ones that want to stay in power with various means, such as by using military and other security forces, or by using COVID-19 excuses and by crashing on the opposition party members. So, we have to be careful uh, to make that country better. Division between Ethiopians will not help us. I said it before on my previous video. We have to find a common ground instead of coming against each other. We know the Abiy strategy is not inclusive. They know it. It is rejecting 60 million Oromos, and he is also crashing on Walaitas, and also kicking out the Tigrayan people representatives from the central government. So I don't know what Ethiopia they're talking about in such kind of situation. They have to think about it, see what's going on, where Ethiopia is heading. Tigray is, if force is applied, Tigray may be moving out. So they are ignoring 60 million Oromos. They are fighting them. They are calling names against them. And the Walaitas are also under pressure. Recently, they changed the governor over there by force, and the command post is controlling it now. So I don't know what kind of Ethiopia is they talking about. Ethiopia is, cannot be built by force, just like old time or long time ago. Ethiopia should be built in consensus, in negotiation between Ethiopians. Take, give, and take. Not insulting each other, not bashing each other, not throwing stone against each other. We have to find a common ground to make that country a better country for all Ethiopians, inclusive with religion, inclusive with different languages, cultures. So dominance is not accepted, will not be accepted at this 21st century. So people, must negotiate. We have to negotiate. We have to negotiate about the country's flag. We have to negotiate the language, how many official languages. Nobody accepts only one language as an official language. No, not at this time. You may use force and you may gain some temporary victory, but not anymore. So we got a lot to do to make Ethiopia, to stay Ethiopia, to make a better country for all of us. So that's all I have from concerned citizens. And, thank you for listening, Ethiopians. We have a lot to do. We have to be careful to keep this country from disintegration. We have to avoid force. We have to use our brain, our mentality, our capacity to negotiate you know, to negotiate with the Tigrayans, to negotiate with Oromos, to negotiate with Walaita, Somalians, Afars. How can we make a better country for all of us? Leave the force away, leave the military, leave the federal police, special militias, you know, because you may have the upper hand at this time. Doesn't mean you are solving all the problems. Yes, use the force to protect the country from foreign enemies, but negotiate the domestic issues with the people living in that country. That is the best strategy, instead of calling names and throwing stone against each other, bashing each other's, destroying each other's history. you know that's not a good strategy. Let's make that country for all of us through negotiation, not through insults, not through using force, not supporting the guy dividing the country. He is the main problem in that country. We know it. He is dividing and ruling. Now Amaras as with him, he got some. So that is the leader's strategy: divide and rule. But what he's doing is he's killing Oromos, he's torturing Oromos, he's arresting Oromos. He is putting Oromia under military command post. And you know what is happening in Walaita, you know what's happening in Tigray and other areas. Ethiopia is not stable. So if it continues in this way, I don't know what Ethiopia these landed protesters are talking about. So we have a lot to do, and we'll talk about this, in the future. But thank you for listening, and I will leave you one Oromo song for today. It's Qeeroos, huh? It's Oromo, yeah? It's Oromo and Oromo music. Just music is, international language. Just enjoy it, and see you next time. So long, everyone. Listen to the Ebisa Adunya Qeeroos. Midano galapate, sababin go bandita, gosa ko galapate. Kankalesa tujenu, unarasu to papate, maluma malagosa, amaga tabyarade. Yagarre biya Kenya, aya walale biya jarko, angapta abodi Kenya. Urmati sikallere, waga barade rada, polo se singallere. Akumana magonne, Kenya mapadelata, warra belas masane. Mekumana malone, emerga Kenya smaptamne, Numalia kinelata. Nga gurreon tesane, ebo ke nuti ganteka, ilmada besa thane, ilmoda besa thane, egare nuti ganteka, diniti basa bade, elaba ke satofa, lami be asalule, kana jese dibane, enuma ke satofa, anito nanetera, menito nanetera, adita dillo tatulle, menito nanajesa, shanik jasa tulle, kuretoko tatulle. Naga ke
te di pesate, velo te via bate. Ora te matani, ga barumia tente, tinija ka kutete. Musiba da tente, kana pami pate, kunoga loka kate. Oromo majalite, tanga mardado lome, utaja ga pature. Ilmana maga brumi, boy taga pature, boambe le tomure. Yo botona de mani, waboti magatani, gabaskan do patani, gabaskan jagromani, gabaskan niromani. Oto pinyo ni jirre achole, pinyo de rani jirre, maltumo kaya pata, damaya chupa data, utu se nani jirre. Yo nama to fiadata, enyo mata nadata. Adara yoromo, kore kore dabata, galme se na korata. Galme se na korata, anami se na sambene, bishanga baterati, ganar geti jallata. Golfi golfi nanjero ya jolle, golfi nanjeru, el kamale na golfa. Golfi nanjeru, karamali na golfa, apanke nyandupanne, karade muda tamne, ya buna andararini. Amana repitutti, narara babitutti, yaduana wamini, abiyona nyatini, amuma ambele summa, ijaki anargutti. Jirani na pite, ni gana tote, kesi girepite. Ofirra hadulata, ana me se kubulata, jarreno galudite. Jarre ke sanuyati, ke me shago kute, piya se basulata. Oto kagara koti, bi koromia, aroma bele somti. Akagara sare, markangala sare, yeroshe suramale, bele somutolare. Kadoromo mala se ajule, nado walgare pata, wadarkanya teduge, edutuba walamata, nakawana ladume. Kutada wakirjata, amal mudomi ya Kenya, me arara no kanda, abar sagam nala sai. Jako tuna sirbaya jolle, malu manarganata, urako tuna tursa. Malana ganata, aniti wakatsa, Lutua kakanisa, waboko dubalata, amato na yotole. Yoram na nabjutole, yodim na milkintole, arima alibalaka. Alkanesi pakate, ninda konis mabige, sibiro chocho jete. Wenines pakorite, bilisuma barite, oromo watamasa, labde bari ugete, labdo bari kwete. Yagade burabada, ani tuke sakembene, tuke kembene. Etuma fute gate, eta japida balata, jole biya Kenya, ani jole naromia, jole bahadiha, jole kabakiba, ani jole bahadiha, tokumada kapsa. Serin kusate, elu kumurma kete, awada kokopa. Ejole biya Kenya, ejole naro kuti, ejole jambi kuti, ejole bore kuti, ninda ko kuti kutu, korma ko kesadabe, ninda ko kuti kutu, korma ko kesadabe, undum to ala kutu, umata mana kutu, na bau kesadabe, wabo ko kesadabe. Badda bale tani ajolle, badda bale tani, kamadi da bumfarra, agar pura bun salbina, akasa tapatani. akkan tattaafatanii gabrummaatti hafuun farra mirga dhaabuun salphina. Turree koo shamizii koo mataattan boraafate dhiiga koo ishee ijoollummaa. Diga koshe joluma bosona topaafate bosona yaa korrashe ganna yaa diilallashe jajjabe jabinashe wabookee ooftashe wabookee ooftashe geeshe dubartoodhaani yuula fata yaateera seere dibannoo maali waabo natti yaateera geeshe dubartoodhaani yuula fata yaateera seere dibannoo maali waabo natti yaateera.
Okay, that is Eebbisa Addunyaa Qeerransa. So thank you for listening. So long until next time.